introduced to, and I don't know if you ever heard our vision and mission statement, but it's this. Our vision is that Strathroy-Caradoc envisions a dynamic community where residents thrive in a sustainable, inclusive, and prosperous environment. We aspire to be a model of effective governance and community engagement, setting the standard for excellence in our programs and services. I thought that last phrase was appropriate to read. Then the mission. Our mission is to provide innovative and up-to-date services, engage in proactive planning for the future, facilitate partnerships, advance community goals to create a vibrant and sustainable future for all in Strathroy-Caradoc. So not to get ahead of myself, I thought it was appropriate to read that, given why we're here tonight and what we're going to discuss. So roll call. Councillor Hippel is absent with notice. Councillor Derbyshire will be a few minutes late. Are there any declarations of pecuniary? None. Call to approve this evening's agenda. Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Pelton. All in favor, motion carries. And with that, we're here to discuss 137 Frank Street. Before we begin, just motion to receive the report. Councillor Hammer, second by Councillor Candace, all in favor. Motion carries. Well, now shut up and turn over to the CAO to start.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We're here tonight to talk about 137 Frank, but I wanted to back us up a little bit to talk a little bit about the history of how we got here. I think it's important. Now, when I arrived here February last year, you had two significant reports prepared for you. One was your strategic plan, and one was your service delivery review. Both of them identified customer service and service efficiency as key to moving forward. And we have spent as staff, and you see a lot of them here tonight. I'll have them introduce themselves in a minute. Who've been a big part of developing our customer service strategy. And now as we move into the next piece of customer service, of which 137 Frank is a piece of that, we have a second team of staff that have formed up in the last few weeks. But the first team was our connection crew, and with Heather Lalonde's leadership, they developed our customer service strategy. I'm going to ask them to stand up and introduce themselves and tell us what division they're with, just so we see a cross section of the community, the organization that we have. So maybe Jake, you want to go first?
Yeah, Jake Durder, you all know me. I was part of the connection crew to develop the customer service strategy on behalf of the building planning bylaw.
I'm Michelle Wright, museum curator, but community services department is part of the connection crew as well.
And I'm Bernice Ross, and I'm customer service representative for the municipality of Strathroy-Caradoc. But I mainly work in the finance department.
Originally communications on economic development.
Walter Easter, engineering and public works, and part of the connection group.
Thanks. So I think it's key to recognize the group because they did a tremendous amount of work to pull the customer service strategy together. And certainly that work continues into the future as we develop this next piece. The other team that formed up a couple of weeks ago was the process posse.
Yeah.
And what we did was we trained a ton of our people in Lean Six Sigma Greenbelt. And the idea of this is that we can now document our processes, because one piece that we do lack, and most organizations do, we're not novel out there, is documentation about how we do our business. So this team is going to be our first group to take on that challenge. Hoping every year we can train more and more of our staff, and therefore we will become, in the future fully documented. But certainly, as we want to deliver on our customer service strategy and our services, we want to understand how we do it and what's the best way to do it, and how do we constantly improve them. And that's part of the Lean Six Sigma process. So I'm going to ask the process posse to stand up and introduce themselves.
I was still workshopping that name, but it was. It kind of stuff. Like we're gonna get t-shirts. I don't know. But I'm Stephanie Wheel. I'm part of the Six Sigma training, and my project charter is kind of to help with the FOI requests and better streamline those for our residents and anyone who requests them.
I'm Kate Popham, and my project charter for the Community Services Department is to evaluate our online booking processes and see if there is a way to make that easier. Our goal is to have 95% of people be able to book online easily.
I'm Lori Management. I'm with Environmental Services. We're tweaking my project charter right now. I'm going to be talking with Tamara tomorrow just to tweak it and fine tune it a little bit. But we hope to have it focus around some of our processes within the water department for our regulatory requirements.
I'm Amy Marsh. I'm part of the finance department, and my project charter focuses around fleet and inventory and how to track them.
Rachel, me, I project again. My project charter is to look at internal communications requests and how we can streamline that process.
Thanks, everyone. So I think it's important that every team member has a project that they have to accomplish to get their certification. So that's why they each have a project charter to start off with. And of course, that will grow to encompass a lot of the activities that we do in the organization. So that's just one piece of what 137 Frank is the physical piece of it. And I am going to turn that over to Rob and Heather to talk about. But I just want to emphasize that change in an organization doesn't often start at the top. It starts by the people embracing the change and driving it within the organization and it becoming part of how we do business and how we recruit and hire people as well in the future. So this is a great start, and I appreciate all the work that our senior team appreciates, all the work that this group has done to date, and we look forward to their product as we go forward.
So Rob, I know, I speak for all the council, and thank everybody for all your time. I know that you have day jobs where you have to keep up, give the extra effort and to dedicate to yourself, because this really helps. So I know all the council would thank you very much for your efforts, because it's all very important work. So thank you. Yeah, you can jump right in.
I just wanted to commend you for what you're doing. I went through the Six Sigma when I was at Legal the last few years before I retired. And as Rob said, it was the people that had contact with our customers every day that really drove it as well, because they're the ones that saw the processes that were happening, and they were able to show us people high on top that we actually didn't know what we were talking about. That we knew what we were talking about, but we weren't at the ground level, and so we didn't have full appreciation of the processes that we had in place. And I know for Libro, it's turned out really well. They still embrace the whole system and are still using it today. So I think it's great, and good luck with it to all of you. So.
Okay, well, as CAO Browning said, part of this whole process is engaging staff to be fully supportive of customer service moving forward. And council's been fully supportive of it as well through the approval of the customer service strategy last year, and then the budget this year with regards to updating 137 Frank Street to accommodate customer service moving forward. So we thought it was important to bring an update to council to let you know where we're at with that, and timelines, and a little bit of feedback as well that we're looking for. So we've prepared this little brief presentation, and Rob and I are going to tag team on what this looks like. So really, rehabilitation will be several phases, and we're starting obviously with phase one, which includes the moving of customer service from 52 Frank Street to 137 Frank Street, along with some hot meeting space, a boardroom. We're going to move economic development and communications down there because we're very much in touch with business on a day-to-day basis, as well as creating some innovation in community space. And I know that that's a very broad term, and we've termed it that way for sole purpose of being very flexible. So the advantages to having a central service center is that it will be accessible space for the public. As you know, moving around town hall here can sometimes be cumbersome for public, and confusing. And they'll be able to access all services that are provided here at 137 Frank Street. Coupled with adequate parking, and then the community space that can accommodate business support, it can accommodate collaboration, and it can accommodate community programming. One of the special opportunities that we have with moving outside of town hall is to expand our hours. And that will be something that we will pilot as we move forward, but it will be an opportunity to better serve the community. Okay.
So phase one includes the customer service and staff offices. So this should work. There we go. Look at that. He who hath little faith. So what we're focusing on currently is working in where this red line evolves. So if we start at the main entrance of 137 Frank Street, it brings you right into the customer service area. So the idea there is to have 3 workstations. All of them will be, the intent is to have them to be able to service all facets of the operation, whether someone is looking for assistance with a building permit, or someone's looking to register for swimming lessons, or looking for a Commissioner of Oath, thank you. We're looking at servicing all areas of the municipality. So in this area as well, you're going to have a staff office here, 3 staff offices over here. We are taking this space and converting it into a hot office. So that would be where if, say, a building inspectors, we set aside every Wednesday, there will be a building inspector at 137 Frank Street. So you can come in, ask your questions, and staff will be fully IT set up out of that office. It's also a space where if someone wants to purchase a plot for a family member, say someone who's just recently passed away, and we don't want to do that out in the middle of the front customer service counter. Maybe we want some privacy, so staff will be able to go into that space and be able to service a customer in that respect. That space is set up with 2 doors in case, for whatever reason, the member of the public gets agitated. Staff have a safe exit out of that space. So this space here where it says IT kiosks, so that's going to be a self-service location. So if someone shows up and they have a question and there's a staff person not in that building able to answer that question, we can provide the residents the ability to go into that office and video conference staff here at Town Hall. So rather than having staff get up from their desk, walk down to 137 Frank Street or hop on a car or whatever it may be, they have the ability to video conference. So we'll be able to respond to residents' needs much quicker in that respect. And staff do it already. So not all staff are located in this building, right? So for example, I have one of my managers, well, both my managers at times are not in this building. So we'll teleconference back and forth instead of having them come here and wasting time. So we do video conference already. And then there is a boardroom back here that would be a rentable space as well, but it's available for staff to have meetings. Then if we transition down into this area, if people remember 137 Frank Street, I refer to this as a fishbowl. It was completely a glassed area. We're adding 2 offices and a lunchroom to that space. So when we get into phase 2, where you're going to see the community space open up, one of these offices could be a location for a recreation program member to be housed out of to service the community space that's there. So that's phase one. I should share with you that this space back here, which is titled the workshop, is also part of phase one, needs minimal work to it. That's going to be Len Taverner's workshop. Len's worked with us for 15 years and he's never had a home base. He's always been punted from one location to another location. So he's really excited about this space, but it also provides us storage from 40 Metcalf. So all of the Christmas wreaths and the stuff that deal with the downtown market will all come out of 40 Metcalf and will be housed within this workshop. So.
Innovation.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Councillor Paul.
So for Len's work area, I know there's fairly substantial amount of height in there. Are we gonna put in like proper racking and stuff?
Yes.
So we make actually good use of space?
Len has already built a mezzanine. It's got stairs and everything. So well, he's well ahead of that. So yes, we will be. So there's also the community space down here, the larger room that people know it as the multi-purpose room. These two spaces, this used to be what they called the billiards room, and this I always called it the fireplace room because there's a fireplace there. This is going to be in phase two, again, innovation / community space. And it's really going to be dictated on how it's going to be used in the future. So, but that'll be part of phase two. And as we, I have to give Len Taverner a lot of credit because Len is building walls faster than the architects can get him drawings. So the hot office is already framed out. These two offices and lunchroom are already framed out. We've already identified that chances are we're going to need a wall here. So we've already started prepping reused materials from other locations in the space to create this wall. Len's been doing all of this work by himself. So well, I shouldn't say. It has Sydney Wilmster's helping him. So this is all a phase one, and it's well underway. Now, need to get out of that.
Just on that, Rob,
Yep.
he's building before the drawings are ready. What does the building department think of that? If I were to do that at home with a renovation, that would be huge red flags.
Yeah, the building department has no issues with it because it's not supporting walls. There's no plumbing involved. We have drawings already created, but they're fine tuning with dimensions and stuff, right? So we just don't have the final construction drawings. So we're not going out to tender on any of this stuff. It's all done in-house. So it's a small renovation.
I didn't need a building permit either then, or?
So we'll want to do a building permit, and I think Derry has already started the application for it. We'll want a building permit because that's it. We should pull permits when we do work. So, and that's what we'll be doing.
Okay. So right now we're working without a permit.
Yep. Which the building inspectors are well aware of. For us to meet this timeline of October, we need to get moving. So it's not. If we had to take down walls and that we're going to be structural, and if we were moving plumbing, that would be a different story, but we're not doing any of that.
I missed the first part of this. When did we approve all this?
This was approved as part of the, I don't know where my slideshow was.
So I know we said we're gonna give 500,000 to make sure the building is savable, right? And then I know in the budget, you put another 500,000 in
For $1 million, yeah.
for $1 million, but we didn't approve any project. What council approved was that we wanted to make sure the building didn't deteriorate anymore. Not that we were going forward with this plan.
That was not my understanding. The $1 million just to go forward with the application, so.
Yeah, that was mine too.
That was mine as well.
No, so the budget said this is what you're thinking about. Did we vote that we're gonna move customer service down there?
It came to us.
Remember, we were just told.
I thought we were just, it came, no, I know, this idea was floated by us 3 times. He put extra money in it for the budget, but that just means you allot the money to the budget. Still has to come to council whether we want to do this or not. But obviously, it's getting shoved through one way or another, which, I mean, that's fine, but there was no council vote to do this.
I'm trying to remember. I know there's a lot of, I'm not, I think I remember it.
Because it was your budget put the extra money in. We said when we saw all
That
this,
budget wasn't approved until March, so we've only had 2 months, month and a half.
Yeah, but the concept of moving it, that's where I'm lost, Counselor. The concept of moving service was talked about long before.
no, the concept, we talked about lots of things.
Yeah.
We talked about putting a bridge over top of 81. But when you budget it, you can budget all you want. It still has to be approved as a project,
But we have seen this plan before.
but we didn't approve it.
Well, what did we do with it?
All we said was we want to make sure that that building maintains its integrity. We saw all this and it was put forward, and then there was talk about council chambers was gonna move down there and yeah, they were gonna use the big room as the new council.
That's true. I remember that.
It was all part of it. Nobody voted on any of this. It was all a concept that, and the final thing was, we're gonna take 500,000, fix the building up, and then in your budget, you said, I want to put another 500 towards whatever project we're doing.
Yeah,
So in passing the budget doesn't mean we voted to move customer service and everything. Like, we're moving forward on a project that council did not vote and say yay or nay to.
But we did approve the customer service.
yeah, we did. Yeah, I remember there was.
I feel like we have.
We didn't vote customer service.
I'm trying to remember. I'm not debating. I'm trying to remember.
We voted for the customer service strategy that talked about this, but that was before there was money in budget and we hadn't seen designs and.
But now we're discussing it conceptually.
Yeah.
And at that time, there was talk about, it could be council chambers, it could be business innovation, there could be a lot of things.
Yeah.
And certainly customer service was always kind of in the front. I think in everything we talked about, I think that kept throwing customer service up in the front, but I don't recall ever having a vote on it.
Yeah. I honestly can't remember.
How did you bring this to us before?
I think collectively, we brought a concept of customer service to council late last year.
September?
Yeah, and it was part of the customer service strategy that we'd have a centralized location.
And
Yeah, that's true.
we've also budgeted for the staffing too, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So staff have proceeded based on the budget being approved at council as a project. Staff are working off of the approved customer service strategy, which talks about a centralized location. Staff are also working off of the direction with regards to the staffing levels to be accommodated in this location. So staff are working under the assumption that this is an approved project based on all of those. Has a report come forward and asked council to approve a I guess a specific item based on all of those items together. That's what we're working from, is all of those other approvals. So.
But to approve a centralized customer service, we have a centralized customer service. It's in the basement. Like, all you're doing is moving this service down there. So when you say, well, the concept was, we saw this as a concept. We also saw this as something we were going to rent out to the whole community and not move down there at all. Like, when the ideas got presented, it didn't get presented as this is what's moving forward.
Well, I think both, in fairness, I think both were presented, but you may not have seen, and that begs the question. But no, just let me finish. It begs the question of how much approval. So we have approved the budget, we've approved the concept, we approved the customer service strategy, we approved all those things. Because now, how much into the weeds do we need to get? So we said, I just where we said staff, right? So you came up with these concepts, you came with them, and it's an organizational change. We talked about centralized moving customer service. So I suggest, how much do we need to approve? Me, if I'm staff, I would take it that council had endorsed this throughout the process.
So what I take it is, anytime we leave these meetings, right, which these are supposed to be information and we're not making motions out of it. Well, what you're saying is we saw all those concepts here. And that's good. You're good to go. That's what you're saying.
Well, we're not just concepts. We had various reports. We had the.
But these reports in this room are for information.
But no, the service delivery, we accepted. We accepted the service delivery.
We voted for the staff.
We voted for it. We voted for it.
For the extra staff.
Yes,
Yes, we did.
But we also.
Did we vote for this concept in there, or did we just receive that here?
we voted for $1 million to renovate the building.
To renovate the building, so.
Yes. Whatever.
No, but
Make whatever you want to do. What I want you to understand is when we say council votes on everything, what you're saying is, no, that's not necessarily
Sure,
true.
we did vote on it. My point is this. How much in the weeds do we need to get? Where this had gone through, we approved the budget, we told them to go and do something. It's an organizational change that we're making, right? So that's what it is.
No, it's not an organization.
Jen has something.
Yeah.
So on, October the 20th, 2025, that was when, Rob brought a report, 137 Frank for municipal use. So the motion was, it was moved by the deputy mayor, seconded by Councillor Pamler, that council approve option 4 as identified in the report, and then council put 500,000 into the 2026 budget tentatively, subject to approval by council. The same be done with the 2.5 to 5 million projection of the extent of the renovations in the multi-year budget plan. So when I go to the report, option 4 is to reimagine 137 Front Street for municipal use, renovate and repurpose, fully AODA compliant with accessible parking and building access, provides growth capacity for the municipality and estimated cost of approximately 500,000 to address exteriors and condition issues.
Okay, so did you hear what that said? That said, give a conceptual design and reimagine what it's going to be, but only use 500,000 for the exterior renovation.
But then we'd approve reimagine. We put an extra $500,000.
But the only thing that 500 is supposed to go is outside. So
We put extra 500 in for the inside.
it doesn't say that, but that.
With all of that said, I just may chime in.
Yeah,
We're bogging down on process.
yeah.
And I would say that this completely reflects my expectations of what was going to
I
happen.
do.
And I have no problem with the initiative shown by staff here.
So you're good.
I think, excuse me, I have the floor. I'm completely satisfied that this, it is what we, essentially empowered staff to do. And they have begun it, I think, at our instructions. And I agree with the mayor that we don't have to get down into the weeds with, the actual approval of every piece of blueprint, because this is what we told them to do.
Yes.
And I'm completely satisfied with it. And I applaud staff's initiative, and I'm glad we're going to have something ready to go by October of 2026.
Counselor.
No, come on,
What is it?
point of order to the chair, point of order to the chair.
Keep staring.
Okay, excuse me, point of order.
Am I not allowed?
No, you can do whatever you want, just like we just randomly approve stuff.
That's enough. Intimidate. One at a time.
I'm trying to intimidate.
That's enough.
Point of order.
You're staring at me. You're staring at me and you're saying I'm trying to intimidate.
Point of order.
Councilor Derbyshire, I'll clear the room.
Point of order.
I'll clear, we're here for an information meeting. This is inappropriate. He has the floor. He's making a point of order. He will
I
continue.
applaud. He said applaud. I applauded.
Point of order. Unparliamentary behavior, I believe, Mr. Mayor, should be addressed by the chair.
Yeah.
And I would encourage that members not behave in a way which is
I
unparliamentary.
will rule. Let's be respectful. Let's use parliamentary language. Your point was well taken. We got the information we needed. We all made our points. Okay. Let's move on to this. This is an information session.
An information on something we're moving forward, which was conception.
That is your opinion.
That's what it says in that thing. The only thing we approved was 500,000 for the exterior. The rest was a conceptual design.
There, as I said, you want to vote at council now, we'll vote, but let's move on. Continue.
We can't vote.
Can't. Counselor, continue. Continue, please, Rob.
So along with the facility update, we're looking at customer service counters that are fully AODA compliant, which will provide ergonomic ability for our staff with sit-stand desks. They're going to have protruding base separations on both sides of the counter for privacy when the public is working with the staff. We will, unlike what we have downstairs now, these ones will have, there will be two pieces of glass in front of one customer service rep, so they'll be able to speak through a separation, not just one hole, because the desks will rise and lower. We need a space for the people to talk through. So and there's also going to be a complete open pass through on the bottom of the counter, where now we just have a small opening. So we found some deficiencies with the current setup the way it is with regards to sound, and when we're dealing with the customers, both from a staff side as well as the public side. So just to give you an idea of what that's going to look like. With we'll start at the top here. So when you come through the front door now, again, these are a concept. We have had this is the third version. I think we're on to our fourth now. The front's going to look very similar. It's more the orientation of the desk. So just imagine what you wish to see with regards to the desk. The main thing here is that you see the front customer service counter. It's still going to allow for that natural light through the entire space. Then behind the counter, again, the desk orientation is completely different in the final design. But and then we're also going to have separations on this side of the counter. And then you'll see that we got to update our logo. The architect only had our old logo. So you'll see the hot office that's across the hall from the main customer service. Just a different angle. So. Some of the work that's been completed already. So the outside, for those that, if you remember the tour, the outside in the little patio area was fully overgrown. There's literally a tree growing through a patio table. That's all been removed. This whole area will be fully cleaned up, and it will be like a garden area. The transformer will block in with some nice shading with regards some that goes on the fence. And you can see that Len has been well at work putting up some walls and so on. So. Phase 2 of the space is going to see, to slip over here to phase 2. So phase 2 is going to be this multi-purpose space, the innovation and community spaces. You'll see those pulled together after the October deadline, because October our goal is to get the customer service area launched. So we'll turn our attention to those other areas after that time. There was conversation about this space here with regards to removing it. We're giving that some second thought, simply because it may only cost us $20,000 to remove it, but if we really find out we need the space, it'll cost us another $300,000 or $400,000 to put it back on. And if we can fix it for, $50,000 or $60,000, that would be better money spent than ripping it off. So this may become phase 3. And then we've had some other thoughts that have tossed around about making it into like a teaching kitchen, providing lunches for the community members, doing junior chefs and maybe doing a senior chef program, that kind of stuff. So just looking at different options as well. As portion of this could be additional storage, as we're always looking for storage. The other part of this renovation is we'll be looking at how we can delineate this entrance differently from this entrance, because this entrance here is going to be for customer service. And this entrance here is going to be used for public access for open space. So we're looking at how we can delineate that space separately from the main entrance. It'll learn how to jump back and forth between all of these. Lose my way. Too many buttons. Then IT update. So we're doing, the whole building is going to be, we'll have access control in certain areas. So the exterior of the building, no different than town hall. We'll have access control, certain offices, customer service, will have access control, as well as I talked about the video conferencing for that IT kiosk space. It'll be fully AODA compliant with regards to those IT updates, as well as I mentioned the self-serve kiosk.
Okay, and with any change, communications is key. So we have a comprehensive communications plan developed for the transition of the property. We'd like to get that out to the public sooner rather than later. That includes some different mediums, including radio, the sign. We have some concepts of signage that's under development. We're going to use our digital billboards that we've rented some space on Front Street and at the arena. We'll use print advertising, such as a Middlesex banner, lots of social media, and we will invest some money in some paid social media to ensure higher visibility. Our website will contain up-to-date information as we progress through the project, in our newsletters that go out with the water bills. And of course, we'll use the municipal market to our advantage and keep up to date there. So some of the key messages that will be included in the communication plan is improving the customer experience. We want the public to know that, that they'll have the same level and enhanced service down at the new center. It does address some space limitations here at Town Hall, without doubt. And it supports the facility in the long-term planning. But the most important thing is the accessibility for municipal services. One of the things that we have a team that has been meeting once a week for the past couple of months on this project. And one of the things that we've been discussing is, what are we going to name this? And we've done all sorts of searches and collaboration. We've come up with these three concepts, but I think it's up to council to name the facility. I think that, we've provided three options here that we think would serve best. We will be identifying the different areas of the center as we progress through the project, but we need a main sign and a main name for the facility. So I'm happy to hear any feedback on the options that we presented here. And if you have any other, I think it'd be interesting to have that discussion. But in order to communicate what it is, we need a name.
Just a point on that. Not that this would be the end all of it. It'd be lovely if there could be a heritage component to the name, something that celebrates a person or an event or something important from the history of the municipality, the entire municipality, Strathroy-Caradoc. I don't know what that would be, but as opposed to just sort of like having it sold to a corporation for naming dollars. That'd be nice to see if staff or council or the public could come up with an idea for something that reflects the heritage, the shared heritage of Strathroy-Caradoc.
I'm gonna take a different approach and say that as boring as it sounds, I think the term customer service center has to be in the name. Whether it's the Strathroy-Caradoc customer service center and civic center or something like that. Because for the first little while, I think maybe after time you can change it, but for the first little while, I think it's got to be very plain language to direct people to the space.
Or you can do both.
Sorry, I like municipal service and community center too, because I think it spells out exactly what it is, and I think we're gonna need that engagement for first while before people catch on. And I would just say, while I like the sentiment, John, you've seen what's happened in other cities across the province where they've named things after people. I wouldn't want to go down that road where in 20 years we have to remove the name, but something around the natural features like the Sydenham River or something like that, but maybe not a person. Yeah.
Like I said, I like the municipal service and community center, just the way it reads when it's community and municipal service center doesn't sound like it's actually a community center. Community center is very similar to the Caradoc Community Center, and it's just the same through. And I think that makes more sense, especially when it's two separate entrances and two separate places. I like the third one in municipal civic center. It just seems to be a little bit, you don't know it's two places. Just my thoughts.
Okay.
That away.
Yes, we'll take that away and come back to council with a full report.
So do you see any other, I guess, departments being centered over there, like your area of development, any customer service, like anything else or?
I think right now we're flexible.
Yeah.
But at this point, there'll be some, I think, mobile service where we'll move people in and out on regular days.
Yeah.
That's
So
gonna be
it'll
discussion.
be more the, where we meet the people spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Has there been any more discussion about civic chambers or the town hall chambers moving down there to have bigger space for public meetings, or is that basically off the table?
At this point, it's not on the table. If some point council wants to look at something in the future, there's always an option. I think we need to feel what the building will do. I don't think we have a full handle on.
Just ask because it hadn't been discussed.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did talk about that earlier in the discussions, but we didn't get a sense from council.
I think
the direction they wanted to take.
If I was balancing the two, I think that Rob's department needs more programming space than we do seats in the council chamber. Bang for your buck, that's a much bigger bang for your buck.
I think it's like, this is a spot for the council chamber, from the accessibility standpoint, I think it's great from the control. There has to be a bit of control to access too, I guess, if that makes sense, and I'm not sure you can, how well you could do it there, so anyway, I just, yeah, that's
So day one, what it looks like, we've chatted about this, as Heather has indicated, we've been meeting once a week on this now for a few months since the budget since the budget was passed. So the goal here is that we're gonna have 2 customer service locations for 1 week. So when we do the transition, we don't want to shut everything off here and say, well, everyone that's gonna come here, go walk down there because we're open down there now. So we're gonna have a transition of a week. We're aiming for October 13th. At this point, we're on target for that. The goal is to have all that entire front entrance for community customer service open and ready to go. Right. So, Heather, you want to add anything to that or?
Yeah, I think it's important that that communications plan is implemented as soon as possible to get people up to speed on what's going on and what services are going to be offered there on day one. We don't want it to look any different than what is offered here. It's just a different location. And of course, we'll also have the hot office open, so people can come in and meet with the different staff members or community members. All of it will be open. All of phase one will be open, along with signage and the parking lot. So we're ready to go.
And economic development, even that.
Yes. Yes, economic development and communications, which is part of my department. But, and we thought economic development, kind of a storefront, made more sense than sitting up here. It's more in the community and in the downtown, closer to the heart, so.
That's a week before the vote. The municipal election. You think that'll maybe be a problem, people knowing where to go?
Jen, speak to that.
Yes, so that was part of the discussions. And originally we had planned that perhaps the elections could take place down there because there's plenty of parking, it's accessible. But I landed on that this election is going to remain here. Just because we have deadlines well before October to provide information for all the voter letters. And so I wanted to ensure that we're not telling them to go down there on a letter, but then we're telling them to call here leading up to that date. I thought people would just get their voter letter and not really read it and then end up going down there to vote, not come here. So we've kind of eliminated the possibility of confusion altogether. It's all going to be here. Yeah, and it's going to be communicated that way. It's going to go on the voter letter that way. It's going to go on the municipal election notes. Everything's going to be here.
I'm actually okay with that because that's what's happened in the past. So
Yeah.
Anybody who does come to physically vote here, they won't see anything different.
But that, not in that one transition week. Right, because the vote is 20th,
The
28th,
votes are they open the 19th.
19th.
Yeah, that's your advanced voting.
So then, okay. Yeah, whatever, that's not my problem, probably in the weeds too far. You guys got it.
I think as long as it's here, and the legal and legislative department's not involved in the move down there, then as long as you don't get too involved in what's happening down there, then you should be okay.
But it's legal, then gonna be done at customer service
Yeah, so just like last
Okay.
election, we do set up
down there.
prior to the election down there. We do have touch screens down the hallway and we're there kind of throughout all the hours of voting to provide that service to all of them. So yeah, and then we're even open on a Saturday and it will all be down there, just like the last election. We're not going to change a thing.
Questions, comments?
Just curious, phase two, when do you expect that to? Sorry, obviously new year, right, 2027?
Well, we'll continue to plug away, as time permits, your worship. Can I say it'll be done in 2026? I can't answer that, but we'll be plugging away at it when we can, so.
You just want the options, the 4 options on the right. Yeah, I can do that. Yep.
So if I can address the people who are working on the front line. So first of all, thank you. I know you guys are the ones that deal with the customers on a daily basis and the frustrations that they have. I just gotta kind of compare it to my workplace for a second. So we have an iPad touchscreen where the residents or the visitors got to sign in. And I'm gonna somewhat assume that the people who are coming down here to pay their bills and get customer service in person are probably not the most tech savvy person. That's why they're coming down in the first place. So I love the idea of the video conferencing, what I want to know from your perspective, because I think the plan is we're adding one person, correct? Right? So with two customer service personnel, will you be able to assist based on the current volumes that you have? That if someone's gonna have a video conference call, that you can assist them to go over and make sure that they get the connection and then leave the room once they have face-to-face. Do you see that being
The
workable?
answer is yes for that. I think that you would have the time to go, as long as there's two people on staff, yes.
Yeah.
Right, so I think the time, like if you have somebody starting from 8 to 4 and 10 till 6, let's say, you might have a time that you're working by yourself, so it might not be the most convenient. But I'm sure that you'd be able to fit in both spots, and once you get them set up, right? I think it could be helpful on both spots.
So like our experience, as long as we assist them to sign in, they're kind of okay with the process.
That's what I mean.
If we don't,
Yeah.
forget it, they're done. Yeah.
I feel that there would be, I don't know what the amount's gonna be like at that time, obviously, but I do think that we would have the ability to help with that and still serve customer service in a different spot as well.
Is the intent to do the expanded hours right off the bat, or are we gonna kind of wait to see how things go before we do that?
I would like to wait until 2027 to do that. And perhaps maybe some community engagement as to what those hours would look like.
Is there a number of people coming to the door now as you guys are leaving?
I just think that the public knows our hours, like we do tell them it's from 9 to 4, Monday through Friday. I think if we were to extend, I mean, it's a difficult time because 9 to 4 is when people are also working. So to be able to have the office maybe open till 5 might be helpful. I don't know, because there isn't people that are here at the door when we leave. Sometimes there's people in the morning here that when we come in. But I wouldn't say when we're leaving because but I also don't know if they're here at 5 o'clock, hoping that we are open.
Right.
Right,
So
I leave at 4:30.
if we're offering a full experienced customer service, does that mean too that the other departments then are gonna alter their hours so that if somebody did have to video conference, there's someone to video conference with? Is that part of the plan?
That's not part of the initial plan.
So that's something that we would need to discuss in the event that we do go to expanded hours, because if we're staying the same hours, not an issue. But as soon as I think we go to expanded hours, then you need to offer, either you need to empower the staff who are there to be trained in stuff they're not really trained to be doing right now, or we gotta have somebody else available to talk to based on, I guess, demand of what we get.
That will be part of the communications plan of what services will be offered when.
And in terms of the office work that as you guys have all gone through, I'm sure you're multi-department team, so I'm assuming you're looking at it from all facets. If what our original concept doesn't work out, is it flexible enough to be interchangeable to say, okay, we're not gonna have this person down here, we're gonna move this team down here?
There's always the flexibility to move people around, absolutely, right? Depending on how that looks. The intent, though, is to train those CSRs up to a level that they can provide that level of service for each department, right? So, customer services is Heather's bailiwick, but that's, the intent has always been to do that. So, how that evolves is for Heather's team to work out, right?
The important part about that is documenting our processes. So that we can train. Right now, we don't have that resource. So we're gonna focus on getting our key services documented so that our CSRs understand what it is we do. And that we all do it consistently.
Anything else? Deputy Mayor, I'll give you the floor.
Thank you. So very calmly, I want to revert back to the council report of October 20th, specifically that section. So there are the 4 options that were put in front of us that led to my motion and Councillor Cameron seconding, and then we passed them. And essentially, it's let's do nothing, let's sell it, let's knock it down, or let's renovate. We all decided let's renovate it because it is the best decision. At that time, by that point in time, and I think probably after that, we heard a little bit more about concepts. We heard about going down there, the council chambers, innovation up in the front end. We heard about this plan in various facets. But if you read number 4, it says, the concept is that we're going to reimagine 137 Frank Street for municipal use, renovate full ADOA, growth capacity for the municipality, about $500,000 to address exterior building condition issues. And then it says that little 3-sentence or that little 3-line afterwards that says, if we do that, and we did, staff would return with a further report seeking funds, approximately 25,000, and approval to engage A-Link, which they've done, to prepare detailed concept drawings to develop a Class C costing for council's consideration. I'm going to suggest to you, tonight satisfies that. That state is satisfied. So we now have some A-Link drawings, we see phases, and so things are moving forward. So my suggestion is, I think everything that we saw in the red, phase 1, I believe you call it, Rob. I mean, that's up and running. It can still be tweaked if we wanted to, but I would like to see that come to us on Monday night for final approval by council, which then says we're going ahead with a few fundamental things here. We're moving customer service out of this building down to another building. We're reestablishing it. We're going to put a name on it. These are things council needs to do. And a simple vote on Monday night can suffice that. And then as phase 2, and if there's a phase 3 comes along, we can discuss those things. Is the innovation center something we want, or is that not what we want to go? We want more community space. There's other decisions to be made later on, but this gets us over any possible argument that there was never a decision by council. So I've already checked with the mayor. I moved over and spoke with him about it. He didn't say whether he agreed with me or not, but I did.
I gave you the floor. I mean,
Oh, he gave me the floor, so that doesn't always mean you agree. And I did speak to the clerk. I believe that we can have this put on the agenda Monday. Am I correct, Madam Clerk? So we can get this up on Monday for a quick decision by council, quick discussion, hopefully quick discussion, decision. And then what that says to the community is now they know what's going, not just us. So that, I think, would then satisfy what I believe to be the motion that was made.
so we'll do that. We can put that on for Monday. Yeah, we'll make the addition.
Thank you.
I think that's correct. That would satisfy what this had done. The only thing that we're kind of glossing over is they've already started work. They're working ahead of the drawings being done. So we're already doing work. The drawings aren't done yet. We haven't got a building permit. And it says to come back for Class C costing for council's consideration. I don't think we're gonna get a Class C costing. So we're not satisfying that. We're already working. We don't have drawings done and we haven't got a building permit. So as long as all those 3 things are in the report on Monday, then we can say that. We went forward without a building permit, started work before the drawings were done, and we didn't get a Class C costing that we asked for.
Right.
And those are the 3 things.
And we're not going to make that decision tonight. I think that's going to be a conversation for Monday. So in regards to the A-Link drawings, they must be engaged with the A-Link because I saw A-Link on the one slide. All of the pictures were A-Link, so they've already engaged with A-Link clearly. Yeah, we're not going to have a Class C costing. I haven't seen anything. I don't believe they have one, but we have $1 million, 500,000 off of this motion to go to exterior to make sure it doesn't deteriorate past. And then there's $500,000 that the mayor put into his budget. So as long as they're within that framework.
Let me frame it a different way.
Yeah.
So Tri Township Arena is having A-Link work on some stuff. If staff starts building the addition at Tri Township before A-Link gets their drawings done and Tri Township says there's money, we're fine. Because that's the exact same thing we're doing here. Like, we're starting building before the drawing's done, before council's approved the drawings. So it would be just like.
Well, but that's what I'm asking for discussion on Monday night. Are you satisfied with that area in red being what they've designed?
Bring the motion on Monday night. So discussion.
So you talk about the concept Monday night, or is that in the weeds? That's too far.
And it's fine. It's it's a good catch on everybody's part. We have to do what's democratically right, and I'll concede it was a good point to bring up, and a good catch by the clerk and good by the deputy mayor. So we'll have the discussion on Monday night when we.
I just want to add this. I bring it up and I said we didn't approve it. Everyone here said, yeah, conceptually, we all approved it. It's all gone forward.
Conceptually, we did.
But we need to put the motion on the book so that the public knows that we've approved.
So we moved forward on a project that council didn't approve.
No, I'm not gonna go down. Let's not go that way. Let's have it.
But you're building a project. So what happens if, let's say, and I know it's not gonna, because you can read the room. What if council said, this isn't what we wanted to do?
Well, that would be a discussion. Let's cross that bridge if and when we get there. We're not gonna deal with hypotheticals. Let's wait.
But I think what we have to do is analyze exactly what's gone on. This is again, I'll go back to why we're voted in.
Okay, but that's not the discussion here now. We're
But
having.
that discussion happens
we're having
because we
this-
did exactly what we shouldn't be doing.
I'm not gonna get on.
Your cart is so far ahead of your horse.
Counselor Paul.
I just wanted to say, the second line of that is renovate and repurpose permanent space. So we
Yes.
have given approval to
We
renovate.
have, that's why I was.
We don't have a class C costing because we're using internal staff, and so it hasn't really cost us anything yet, other than probably some materials.
But that's just a concept, Steve. That's not approval to do anything. It's a concept.
To renovate
No, it's a concept.
and repurpose.
It's at the end of the day, we have our experts who deal with the customer service every single day, saying that they believe this is the best way we can provide customer service for our residents. I mean, if you can't get behind that,
I'm not saying,
I don't know what you can get behind.
I'm not saying I don't. I'm just saying we need to approve it at council.
Yeah.
So have a discussion Monday night. And let's deal with it on Monday night.
Let's do that Monday night. We'll do that Monday night.
We'll.
Well, it's all you can do on Monday night. That's what we want.
Oh, okay.
Excellent.
Get you over this hurdle.
Yep, we'll do it Monday night. Any other questions? From that, I think it's excellent. I would just say when you do, the communication is gonna be key. Say, talking, I think we should add things about the fact, not gloss over the fact, we are running out of space here. There's a capital avoidance renovations, because we'll never be able to afford to put an addition on this building. So however we get there, we are doing the right thing. Because it's capital avoidance and it's using existing municipal asset we already own that's not paid. So I would ask that. Any others else? Councilor Paul.
I'll just add that when all this is said and done, what we have heard is that we have some deficiencies in customer service and we can improve that. What we have heard is that Community Services Division is crying for space to run more programs. This delivers that too, not this year, but in future years. And there'll be people there to support them, which was the whole problem with the senior center in the first place, was there was nobody there to support the activities that were going on. And now we will have people there to support them and give them some kind of direction to say, oh yeah, you gotta go down the hall and you'll see so-and-so down. That doesn't sound like it should be a huge thing, but it is. You can't just have people walk in the building and go, well, where do I go? Like,
And I'd be most interested to see if we consider having a satellite office in Mount Bridges with some of the IT hookups that are going to be available in the vestibule here. And people are going to be able to walk in here and use the vestibule to find all sort of stuff. It'd be great if there could be a vestibule type situation over in Mount Bridges, so people there would be able to, maybe the library someplace, access in the same fashion. I know that's a discussion for another night, but that's something that we could certainly engage on for customer service with all members of the municipality.
Anything else? Deputy Mayor. So, no. One page. Okay, well, I want to thank you, everybody. That's a motion to adjourn. Councilor Pamela, all in favor, motion carries.